Hi everyone, I'm Isabel Torres, and right now I'm going to just give you a mini brief description of what I chose to do for my project. So basically, right now I am on Google Slides, and I use Google Slides to do all of my whole group lesson. So basically, I always start out with the content and language objective. I try to highlight the verbs and add visuals since all my students are ELL learners. I always add vocabulary. And this is where you start seeing Nearpod features. So this one is matching pairs. So basically, you just go to add-ons, you go to Nearpod, and you open up Nearpod. My district purchased Nearpod, so I have access to every feature, and on top of that, I can do as many lessons as I want. I don't have a limit. So all of these are all the features that Nearpod has that you are able to embed onto your Google slide. So for this lesson, since it was a review, I added things that we did in the past, just a different, let's say, video from the first time that I did deliver the lesson. So this one is about the butterfly. I added, a vocabulary. I wanted to see if my students know what metamorphosis is. I went ahead and added a field trip with the collaborative board. Let me go back. You are able to also, the students are able to interact with one another, and they're able to agree or disagree. I always had a sentence step for my students. From day one, I use Nearpod. So my students learn from day one how to use Nearpod and its features and the do's and the don'ts. I learned very quickly, during the pandemic when I was teaching virtual. I added a field trip as well. It was a park slash. Supposedly there were a lot of butterflies that would come to this park. This park. I added a hyperdoc since it was a review. On here, my students were able to do a butterfly life cycle. I used Jamboard since it's interactive as well, and it's part of Google. But the ending was for them to create their own life cycle of their chosen animal. I always have a closure in my lesson and a time to climb. So now I'm going to go to the actual Nearpod lesson and how it looks on Nearpod. So this is the actual lesson that you just saw on Google Slides. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through it, everything and how it looks. Basically, what I see is what my students see. A new feature that that Nearpod has was the immersive reader, which is very cool, especially for students who do not speak that language. Teach every other week is English, and then it's Spanish. So I currently have two students who are newcomers. They just came from to the United States for the first time. So basically, I do this a lot.
Content objective. I can identify an animal's life cycle. Language objective.
If they are working on their on student self-paced. If not, if it's whole group, my students are reading everything. I'm gonna go ahead and just skim through everything since you already saw it on the Google Slides. This is the student view, what you're looking at now, and this is the teacher view. The student view, I'm able to see what students see, and if I want to see what the students are doing, if they're getting anything correct, incorrect, I'm able to see it as well. I always hide the students' names because you just don't want anybody to feel embarrassed. Let me go back. So I just want you to see how everything you're able to see what the students see. I'm just going to skim through everything, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to split my screen because I did a student. I want you to see what the students see when it comes to time to climb. This is like what one of the features that my students love. So this is the teacher view, teacher, and this is the student. So I'm going to go ahead and just skim through everything. Down here is all the slides that I have. Um, Also, I'm able to see or skip or do anything I want down here. Go ahead and skip through it. And this is why I wanted to do this. My time is almost up. I just want you to see Time to Climb and how it's pretty cool, how everybody in class loves it. Go ahead and do that. I'm just going to pick any because my time is running up. And this is Time to Climb. So this is how I'm going to end my little mini presentation. As you can see, I'm able to get quick data, whatever answer choice they get. Okay, thank you so